Good afternoon, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated. If you find value in this channel, consider liking, subscribing and commenting. It does help the channel out a lot. 2-tier Keir, 3-gear Keir, the Starmerbot himself, has managed to annoy another tech giant. Everybody knows that Elon Musk hates him, and now Google has joined in on the pile-on. He's lost the tech giants, he's lost the trade unions, he's lost his own party, he's lost his cabinet, he's lost the chattering classes, he's lost the legacy media, and he's lost the trade unions. The only people currently that want 2-tier Keir to stay in office is probably himself and nobody else. So we're going to get into the story now. So the story starts here, so let's just have a look now. Google joins in attacks on free speech. Let's have a look now. Google joins attacks on Britain over free speech online. Regulator Ofcom insists nothing in proposals would require sites to take down legal content. Yeah, we'll see about that. Let's see what happened. Keir Starmer continues to be proved wrong, and JD Vance continues to be proved right on Britain's free speech crackdown, Connie Shaw told GB News recently. Speaking to Late Show Live host Ben Leo, the Free Speech Union External Affairs Officer declared an attack by Google on Labour's Online Safety Act is another blow to the government. Google has launched a scathing criticism on the UK government, Labour, claiming Britain risks suppressing freedom of expression through the Online Safety Act. The tech giant has warned that serious proposals undermine users' rights to freedom of expression. No lies detected. Reacting to the attack on Labour by Google, Ms. Shaw told GB News nobody can claim there is any sort of political ideological motive behind the recent attack on the government for cracking down on free speech. It's all ideology driven. And nobody can be surprised because as long as the Online Safety Act came into power, Free Speech Union and other free speech campaigners were warning for a very long time about the effects it would have. She continued, obviously lots of people say you don't want to protect children from graphic online content. But as soon as it came into power, we saw legal content being censored. Katie Lamb's speech on grooming gangs in Parliament was censored. The video of an arrest in Leeds was censored. Ironically, Spiked Online's documentary, Think Before You Post About Free Speech, was also censored by the Online Safety Act. So it was another blow for the UK government. I want to pause for a moment and just give you a little bit of context for Google. They are very zealous on what you can post and what you can't post on YouTube as their platform. We have to self-edit and we have to self-censor our videos. We have to word things in a particular way. We leave lots of things to the imagination, whereas if we didn't have this overbearing overreach from both Google, my employer, and the government, we could actually have a more reasoned debate and not have to mince our words, which we do. Any YouTube content creator in the UK does censor their words and does censor their speech because the algorithm will just deprioritise anything that you put out if you don't do that. And I also have a major problem with devolution. This is very important now because we're going to look at one of the state premiers in Australia because he said the quiet bit out loud recently. He said the quiet bit out loud, which I find fascinating. The advantage with devolution in federated countries like Australia or in the UK is when you get to state level or country level in the UK, you don't get very good politicians. And because they're not very good, they just say it how it is. So we're going to play this video now of the Australian State Premier, I think of New South Wales. I think his name's not important to be honest, but we're going to play it now. Alright? And this is what he said regarding censoring free speech. This is the Australian State Premier for New South Wales, and I think his name is Chris Minns. So we're going to play this clip now.
That have been agitating in the Parliament to nullify the laws, to remove them off the statute books. Think about what kind of toxic message that would send to the New South Wales community. And I think the advocates for those changes need to explain, what do they want people to have the right to say? What kind of racist abuse do they want to see or be able to lawfully see on the streets of Sydney? I recognise, and I've fully said from the beginning, that we don't have the same freedom of speech laws that they have in the United States. And the reason for that is that we want to hold together our multicultural community and have people live in peace, free from the kind of vilification and hatred that we do see around the world.
there you have it. And the reason why I'm playing a video from a politician in Australia is because he's very much from the globalist cloth. You could pluck him out of the Parliament in New South Wales, and you could put him in Westminster, you could put him in Holyrood, you could put him in the Stormont or the Senate, and he'd be right at home on the Labour benches. This is specifically why globalism means that you get the same thing everywhere. So when they're cracking down on free speech in Australia, they're cracking down on free speech in the UK for the exact same reason, to preserve their worldview and to preserve their multicultural project. If Darwinism and the theory of evolution proves anything, is things evolve naturally over time. If something was strong, if something was solid, if something is built to last, you don't need to regulate it. That's as simple as it gets. The reason why they regulate our speech, the reason why they regulate everything that we do online, is because they want that control. It's the Soviet Union all over again. In the dying days of the Soviet Union, the people running the state knew it was over, and they continued to stifle freedom of expression and freedom of speech to try and preserve their worldview and their crumbling state that little bit longer. Ofcom, the regulator of the UK, the telecommunications industry, is to blame here. And this was created by the devil in chief himself, Tony Blair. Sir Tony Blair. This is one of the many things that Reform will need to get rid of when they get in. If things are going to endure, if things are going to last, you don't regulate them. There is literally no need. We're going to end this one here. So what is Google complaining about, and what is the UK government actually doing? Well, that's what I'm going to get into here now. This is from the Free Speech Union. Google attacks the UK for threatening free speech online. This is the latest US tech giant to call out the UK government over the draconian Online Safety Act and Ofcom's overreach. Google warns that measures would necessarily result in legal content being made less likely to be encountered by users, impacting users' freedom of expression beyond what the Online Safety Act actually intended. We can see that the UK and the US are on a collision course over potential stifling of the First Amendment right to free speech. That's probably why Trump has paused a large tech trade deal with the UK, because of the considerations to free speech and the way that the UK is encroaching upon this. And then finally, what they're going to try to stop is legal but harmful content in Ofcom's view. So it's going to be their subjective view that determines this. Ofcom have revealed plans to stop social media posts going viral if they contain what they consider potentially hateful material. Not actual hateful material, potential hateful material. Yep, the UK government now wants to stop posts from going viral if they contain views they disagree with. This won't end well for the governments. This is the last Labour government we're ever going to have. They should take their moment in the sunlight, and remember, it is going to end one day. They will not get into power again. They've gone mad with power, and they need to be held to account. So you know what you need to do with the next general election, if we actually get one. Now, if you like this video, and you think I'm onto something here, make me aware. If you disagree, all opinions are valid. Leave your comments down below, and maybe get a debate started. Have a good evening, and thank you for watching as always.